there's the delay. I'm gonna go ahead and switch scenes there since we're entering game.
All right, so just based off the Civ picks, the players themselves, I think this is going to go to a game 3, or at least I hope it does.
So Ragnarok, yep, he's scouting with the cows. Classic opening.
Weird, I saw the loading screen music on my game, but okay, I'll just ignore it. Yeah, standard starts here. Yeah, I mean, so far, like, this is kind of the awkward part. It's like, what do you even say at this point, you know? It's just like people scouting.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's important how you scout, right? Like, using your cows. So a lot of pro players not only use their scout, they also use their cows to scout, right?
Yeah, exactly, the back of their base. And it looks like none of them are doing that, though, so just...
Yeah, no, I think I saw Ragnarok do it.
Is...
Yeah, I saw pretty much everyone do it here except for Floki. Floki hasn't done it, right? And I think, but I saw Mathieus do it. For the most part, I saw Dieterkiller and Ragnarok do it, right?
Yeah, so, Floki still hasn't found his 3 cows on the right side, unfortunately, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, he's gonna find. He's going to find them, right? He should.
Yeah, this next pass around.
Yeah, but I mean,
did you know there's a relic in the middle of Baltic? I did not.
I did not know this. Interesting. Did they just patch that in?
No, I don't know. I guess I just never saw the middle of Baltic before. I feel like I would have noticed that. All right, so
I'm making a song of this.
I need to like turn the music down. This is really distracting.
All right, I'll stop trolling the viewers. So, yeah, I mean, everyone's doing a pretty standard opening. Let's see, yes. So, Ragnarok has 6 on the cows, 4 on the wood already. Pretty much the same deal here. Dieter's already learning boar. Okay, so this is a change. All right, so Ragnarok is emphasizing wood, right? So he put
so he's
going for that dock.
Yeah, he's going for the dock right away. I think good move by Ragnarok, but I think that we're gonna see Mathieus drop a dock. Also, he has a villager going south to construct a house. Probably the villager's just kind of doing that until he gets in place to drop a dock, right? Why else would you send the villager in that direction?
This villager's definitely going for that dock. We'll see who gets it up first. Oh, a little idle time.
Yeah, I think Ragnarok forgot to adjust his Q.
Yeah.
First dock going up for Mathieus.
Yep.
Gonna beat him a little bit.
Yeah, Dieter's also getting one down. So
yeah.
The other one without a dock yet is Floki. He's putting 6 on wood, so he should get that dock down.
Okay. And one thing we noticed that Mathieus and Dieterkiller like to do is they like to wall one side, and then they double team aggro another player.
Yes.
And the map for them right now is amazing for this. They have an incredibly good map to do this because of this cliff on the left side of Mathieus' base. It's a free wall. It sucks that it is downhill, so your opponent will get archer bonus if you fight over that. But the point is, you can wall that with stone walls. It'll be very hard to get through. Right. And on top of that, the gold is on the other side of that wall, so it's kind of like free safety essentially.
Yeah. It's a great walling here. As you said. But if someone puts a castle right on that cliff, it might be like.
That's true. A castle on that cliff will be very hard to push out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. It'll get a lot of bonus just being on that cliff there.
Right. But the other negative of that cliff there is try to do so. Floki and Dieter, if the game goes long, you're gonna want to do trade. Their trade path is gonna get very, very bottlenecked at that cliff. Whereas Ragnarok Floki, if they just clear out some of this wood, is going to be pretty darn good. So they'll get some pretty nice trade, actually.
Yeah. Floki and Mathieus can get some nice trade down going on. Yeah. So gotta agree. Let's see how we're doing here on the econ. We have 12 on food, 6 on wood. The a guy doing short fish. Good call. Always get a villager doing that short fish on a water map and get your ships out. So.
And Mathieus and Dieterkiller, just because they got their docks out first, they're about 2 villagers ahead of both Floki and Ragnarok right now. Yeah. And I just heard Floki rang the town bell to try and kill Ragnarok. No, what was he trying to kill?
I think a boar, right? He uses the town center to shoot the boar down. So.
Oh, but what the problem is he like idled his eco to do that.
Yeah, a lot of people do this, right? Where you lure the boar, you get one shot at it with your TC, and then you finish it off with the rest of your abilities.
Right, and that makes sense. But he rang the town bell to do it rather than just garrisoning villagers, which I think is a little strange.
Oh yes, that is a little strange. Probably a misclick in here. Floki already walled up with the palisades, so he's already safe. So good call.
Yeah, so
nice
it looks
early
like
walls.
right. So it looks like Floki and Ragnarok kind of want to do that same thing. So I think what we're gonna see, for the most part, is the fight is going to be between Ragnarok and Dieterkiller, it looks like. Because Mathieus and Floki are both walling up against each other. So they're both basically saying, we're not going to fight here, we're going to just, have defense and stuff like that.
Yes.
I would like to see... I think we probably will see some feudal aggro, mostly on water, but I think it's going to be kind of a defensive game till castle, which is good, I think, for Floki and Ragnarok, because that plays into their strength. Their civs... Sicilians want to get castle drops. Mongols want to mass up Mangudai. I think that's going to be very good for them.
Yeah. So Ragnarok is the first to feudal. Let's see what he does. And then the Cobra team is falling behind. Yep, the fire galleries are coming out immediately from Dieter. He's getting that fire galley out. Let's see if... Oh, no, he's still queuing up fish. See, so this is kind of the thing that you need to do in a water map is, once you have your 5-6 fishing ships and you hit feudal, you need to get your military ships out.
Right.
If someone like Dieter comes out like this, right, he's doing the correct opening. This is a really standard opening. It's the fire galley, right? He's going to send it. He's going to destroy ships.
And you see that they immediately dropped 2 docks. So that's a nice thing. If you drop 2 docks, like, it's a big deal, because you can continue to queue up fishing ships if you want to, but you can also queue up twice as many fire galleys.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be kind of more costly, but it's wood and gold, which are, 2 of kind of like... Gathering those resources, spending those resources generally won't slow down your feudal, and unfortunately Ragnarok and Floki, with no military on the water at all, so like what we were talking about, and as soon as Dieter finds any one of these fishing ships, they're going to start losing fishing ships. Yep. And this is really scary if they're not queuing up some right now.
Looks like Ragnarok has anticipated now, so he's getting his fire ships out, right? He should probably drop another dock, to be honest.
Yep.
Floki's doing the second dock, so...
Yeah, so he's just now. It looks like he was going fast castle. That's probably the explanation for, he got a late feudal age. He's at 23 vils. I think he might just be kind of a little behind this game. Because I feel like that's kind of a late feudal to go up with that many vils, but maybe I'm just not sure.
Yeah,
he does have 2 docks.
Yeah, he's dropping a market, so I'm experiencing a feudal click. As soon as he's finished a market and a blacksmith, he's going to go castle.
Oh, man. And so Ragnarok already being fought 3-1 fire ships versus his 1 fire ship. This is bad. He's definitely going to start losing fishing ships here. And see, this is the problem. Like, they beat you on water. 2 fire ships go down already. 3, and now comes more galleys. Oh, no. 4 fire ships down. It's going to be 5 at least, maybe a 6. And at the same time, Mathieus is also dropping fire ships onto Floki. So now, if you're Ragnarok, like, the problem here is, I mean, there's not really much you can do. You're only on 1 dock, so unless you put, like, a tower next to your dock or something, those fire ships are just going to win against anything. Unless he could be building demos. I'm not sure if he's building demos.
No, I click here. He's just amassing the fire ships in the dock, right, to recontrol the water. This is a smart move because at the end of the day, the fire ships don't take docks out fast, so you can still get 4 or 5 ships out if you garrison them, right? And here's the adjustment, right? Ragnarok is like, okay, I lost water. I'm gonna go farms, right? He's gonna hard emphasize farms now because that's the only option. You got, right?
Otherwise, he has literally no food, and I don't know. It's very bad. So now the question is, water secured, right? If you're Dieter and Mathieus, do you stop queuing up fire galleys until you need to, or do you make sure you keep a huge mass of them always ready? And I would be a little worried if I was Dieter here, because what's garrisoning his dock? I mean, we know it's fire galleys, but it could just be a bunch of demos, and 2 demos will take out all 3 of those ships. But
oh, he's in the ability to repair.
Yeah, good move because trying to queue up. But I think it's going to be hard without a second dock here. And every minute that you spend without that dock is a bunch of food. I mean, look at the score. It exploded for Dieter now. And all that is literally just water. It's nothing else but water. Dieter and Mathieus definitely playing this map the right way.
I think, yeah, as soon as he gets the last ship out, 4 ships. Yeah. Oh, okay. This is gonna be huge. So he's gonna get the 4 ships. He should win the trade. And unfortunately, Dieterkiller is moving these other 2 ships out of the way. So this is actually, oh man, this is just very fortunate. I think he can retake his dock here.
Yeah, this is a very strange. But I mean, even if he does, though, Dieter can just send more ships here, and you have to queue up. You have to queue up your fishing ships. But if you stop building military to queue up fishing ships, you're just gonna. I mean, you are gonna lose you're gonna lose the water again. So he needs to drop like 2 or 3 docks to catch up at this point. But even then, like if those ships come, if the Navy comes right away, like even with 3 docks. Oh yeah, here they come. Yeah, here it comes.
He needs to keep queuing. He needs to keep queuing or drop a tower.
And similarly, Floki gonna pop out 4 fast fire ships. He's gonna drive Mathieus away, but once again, like you need to spend all those resources to get fish again, right? I mean, probably at this point, it may not even be worth it to try and queue fish because you're at risk of losing again. But rather just build military on water and hope that you can kill their fish. Regardless of whether you can get fish of your own out, But I think the stock from Ragnarok is potatoes. It's just
it's potatoes. Yep. And he is the first in his team to go castle. I mean, Mathieus and Dieterkiller already hit castle, so yeah, there we go. We'll see what's gonna happen now in the castle age, right? Being behind on food. Floki's managed to recontrol his docks, so he's rebuilding the fish, right? We'll see how long that lasts because I think Dieterkiller is just gonna send his units there now, or no?
Yeah.
Well, 4 to go scout, to see if there's another dock. And then 5 to go play defensive to protect base.
Right.
Mathieus is going to boom, right? He's dropping another TC, right? And let's see.
Mathieus
setups.
And Mathieus and Dieter are so well defended right here. Like the walls, like they knew that they came in this map with a plan. They were like, we're gonna fight on water, so we don't want to lose on land, so we're gonna wall up like crazy. So they did. They won water. Everything is going exactly the way they wanted to. They came onto this map with a strategy from the start. They saw it was Baltic. They knew what civs they were going to go. I'm sure they would have preferred, maybe they would have preferred something like Vikings, but I mean, Dieterkiller going to be chased away by Floki here. But I mean, when the rest of his fire ships catch up, those 4 fire ships are not going to scare him at all. And
yeah, I wouldn't chase. I mean, if you're a little bit behind, you want to really keep those docks. You need to get the castle, get to the castle age, probably drop a tower or a castle near your dogs, and I think they should protect because. Oh man.
Yeah, but it's kind of like there goes Loki's entire navy. It's kind of like because the problem is, let's say you get the castle there, right? So you've maybe secured water for you near your docks, but that fish is going to run out pretty quick. And then the problem is that opportunity cost. You're putting that castle there. Where do you not have a castle? You don't have a castle on your gold, on your stone, in your base, or a forward castle. So if you've put a castle there, you save a few fishing ships, but you deny yourself all the other opportunities you have with that castle. I think Floki's just going to straight up lose water here.
I mean, it's pretty much gone. He's going to lose those docks, right? They're going to take him out. There's like, I don't know, 10 ships total here. And so, I mean, it's rough. It's rough.
Right.
And the galleons are coming out now by Dieter.
Right. And a good thing to think of, maybe it's overkill because I don't think Floki Ragnarok will go back on water at this point. A good way to think about having docks on water is that it's almost like having another town center, right?
Yes.
In advance, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
And if you, imagine if it's like playing against the Cumans, except you have a 125 wood town center, right? That's how water is very, very important when it's available. And Dieterkiller is probably going to get all of the food on this entire lake.
They pretty much have lake control, and Ragnarok's going to see if he can find anything with his knights. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
the double wall.
Yeah, Dieter's doubled wall, right? It's the palisade and a stone wall. So I don't. It's gonna be a while before they cut through. The nice thing of
Right,
having
and
the knights here is that you get scouting advantage, right? You know exactly. You can figure out exactly what's your opponent's up to, and if you want, you can start building your forward base, right? So
true, true. But I think so. Remember what we said? We said that it's that Ragnarok and Floki, they're gonna like the castle age, but there's and it's true right now. If you look at Dieter, he doesn't have defense. If these knights were in his eco, he would be struggling. He'd be like, "Oh shoot, I gotta queue up pikes. Oh no, the pikes aren't fast enough to chase the knights. Maybe I queue up a monk. Oh no, the knights have husbandry, right? Whatever." And so it would be a pain in the butt to deal with. But the problem is that these knights aren't in there, and Dieter's already going to Imperial Age. And what did we say before the game? We said that we liked Dieter and Mathieus in the Imperial Age a lot more because the combination of organ guns and trash is going to be very, very, very hard for Mongols and I mean, Mangudai do fine against organ guns, obviously, but the point though is that like the trash from Byzantines is going to cost like nothing, and Portuguese have a good late game. So, and on top of that, they're hitting this late game faster. Dieterkiller's already basically an Imperial Age. I mean, he's barely away. They have more resources total. They have more economy total. This is just honestly, this game has gone so just perfect for Dieterkiller and Mathieus right now. They got exactly what they wanted. They really had the strategy coming into this game, and it's
it's showing, right? And look, Mathieus also has the forward base, right?
Right. And on top of that, Portuguese, I mean, even if we go to the ultra late game and there's no resources anywhere, right? They have Federias. So
true. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, they can outlast just in terms of eco, right?
Right.
With the Feitorias. And so did he click yet? The answer is does not look like he clicked. He's on 3 TCs. He needs 2 more for the Last Crusade. So we'll see. For its max. I don't know if he'll reach it in time because now he knows that his opponent already hit him.
I thought First Crusade was 7 TCs for some reason.
No, I think it's 5.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was 7 for some reason. But is it? Hold on. First Crusade. Each town center produces. Oh yeah, you're right. It's 5. It's 5 that produce 7. That's why I think 35.
So right. I think maybe it was originally 7. They nerfed it a little bit, but yeah, now it's 5. So
right. So now all that needs to happen is Mathieus and Dieterkiller. I mean, they're building their fronts. They're building their forwards. They just got to build one big death ball. And I think that running over Ragnarok is honestly the only thing I kind of wish they were doing a little different here. Is I wish Mathieus would. Or maybe it's better. I don't know. I kind of wish they would. I kind of wish they would move to one side and they would just 2v1 one side, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I do think that with how strong their ecos are right now, they're both an Imperial Age versus Castle Age civs, and the other two, Ragnarok and Floki, haven't even clicked up yet, and Floki has the resources to click up though. I do think though that like they will win anyway. But I would like to see just, going ham. But it could be that, they're also considering cannon galleons or stuff like that. Which, since they're the only ones on water, there's no way for Ragnarok and Floki to defend against that. So we'll see. Right now, the ball is really in Dieter's and Mathieus' court. They could build a death ball. It looks like Mathieus is building a bunch of knights, so it looks like he may be going for a death ball. Or they could just bombard from the shoreline. If they do, I mean, like I said, Ragnarok and Floki have no options. Right. Or they could continue to stall the game indefinitely, and just because for them, the later it goes, probably the better.
Yeah.
Right? Especially they could wait for every resource on the map to be gone. They build Federias, and they just make the world's biggest pool of resources and just wait. Although there is a time limit to these games, like they're supposed to end in an hour, 45 minutes, and it looks like Floki's going to make the first attack actually on the north side with crossbows. So
the nice thing about this is that there might be later to the Imperial Age, but they have military out, right? So, I mean, Ragnarok has a good set of knights already. Floki's building those crossbows, right? Cavaliers from Mathieus already. And Floki's clicking. I mean,
Yeah.
Ragnarok's clicking, so I think they're in a good position. He's getting the last 2 TCs down, so we can expect soon the first Crusade.
Yeah, so I see. So we are, but I think yeah. So actually, so we are seeing that 2v1 I talked about. Except they decided to go on the north side. So Dieter, Mathieus. Maybe they just think that Floki, because is a little bit not as well defended. But yeah, so we see that Dieter is dropping a bunch of archer ranges here. That's going to be great. He's going to get a lot of Arbalests down. Honestly, if he's going Arbalests, though, he probably doesn't need, like, any food. So he could probably start just tributing that to Mathieus, or just stop getting food and just let Mathieus have it. Because Mathieus is going Cavalier. He's going to need it more. We have a second castle coming out, and Bombard Cannon's already out for Mathieus.
Oh, okay, so the Bombard Cannon's getting the shots in on the crossbows. All right, now he realizes. But the way the situation on the wall is that the Bombard Cannon can't get that castle, and that's a nice place. It's on a hill. Let's see if he's,
that's true.
Let's see if his crossbows hit. Oh no! Please no! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
That's honestly a great castle placement by Floki. Like no joke.
Yeah, I don't know if he scouted it, right? Do they see it?
They maybe not, but so. Turn on Fog of War. They don't see the castle. Actually, so yeah, Mathieus doesn't have it in Fog of War, meaning that they have not scouted it yet.
Okay.
But I don't think it's gonna. It's one of those. Frick? I just saw a cannonball. Oh, he's shooting his own stable. What?
That's got to be an accident.
What is he doing? What the heck is this shenanigans?
What is going on?
Yeah, like what? Why is he doing that?
Hello? I think it's a misclick. I think it's a misclick, and he's focusing somewhere else.
Oh, and they got trade up, and Ragnarok and Floki do not. So this is looking, yeah, they are so far ahead. Floki's not even in Imperial yet. Dieter and Mathieus are going to be in post-Imperial soon, essentially. What is he doing?
I have no idea what he's doing. I have none. I don't know. Is it?
It's funny
to make room.
Yeah, but then why didn't he just delete the building? It still should. It has to be an accident.
Yeah, that's definitely an accident. That kind of feels bad. It's just the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he was so confused. He's like, why am I under attack from myself?
Yeah. All right, so they have the army amassed. This is gonna look like a death ball, because what he needs now literally is what Ragnarok, I mean Floki really needs. He needs a bunch of things. He needs skirms to deal with the arbalesters. He needs pikes to deal with the cavalry, and he's just now hitting him. Right?
And he basically needs his own bombards.
That's so smart. He used the ships to break the walls. They're just gonna run through.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
I mean, this castle will defend, but only for as long as the bombard cannons don't, destroy it. Gosh, dude, I actually think this looks really, really bad for Floki. Still, like, he's still not Imperial Age, so he can't even really defend. He doesn't have bombard cannons. He's stuck with crossbows. He's like a minute away from Imperial Age. And he's probably going to lose this castle.
He is building a second one, and this is a great position here, because it's going to choke them. It's going to choke them through that gap, right? So, having a second castle, he needs to get more military out, right? He needs to start building everything he can.
Yeah, that's the problem though. It's like he needs too many things though, and you have Dieter and Mathieus with massive eco, and they're both on you. And Ragnarok is now sending his Cavaliers there, which are going to be a huge help. Sicilians do have great Cavalier, especially with the great halberd tech, some of the best in the game. But plus Sicilians take less bonus damage from halbs, so just ridiculously powerful cavalry. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge help. But I think this castle probably will go down. Floki's gonna run out of stone to repair it pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it's not like if you dive with all those Cavaliers, just take out whatever 4 bombard cannons. First off,
no, he's gonna. Oh, he lost the galleon. Oh my, that feels bad, man. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. Dude, I think all these crossbows probably about to get massacred. He has petards. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure. Floki gonna lose probably all these arbalests. They have nowhere to run.
Yeah,
they can't even make it through that choke point. They're dead. They're all dead. So now he's got no military. Ragnarok.
He needs to wall this castle here. He needs to wall it, right? He needs to put a wall here so the cavalry don't break through, and they have to fight in. He needs to get a wall up. He needs to wall this. He needs to wall this gap.
He has Mega Dive coming out, which is going to be really good if they can hit the Bombard Cannons, because the bonus damage against them, but it's going to be a little kind of slow to mass them up. Mongols, you really want multiple castles. Yeah, this looks kind of bad. Honestly, what a great death ball going on here. You have Arbalest, you have Bombard Cannons, and you also have Cavaliers, right? There's
and the Cannon Galleon. Because they're off water, they can't respond to the Cannon Galleon.
That's true. Yeah, so... and now he can't build Mangudai, and, that's kind of like the Mongols' unit. What are you gonna...
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Great strategy. Great play.
Yeah. Oh, but Ragnarok has a big army in the south, so it looks like he wants to start something there. But the question is, like, you got to start getting that going now, because your teammate's about to be dead. Like,
yeah.
Right. And the funny thing is that Dieter, he's kind of already ready for it. So Bombard Cannon's good counter to Trebuchets. He will be able to at least defend against those Trebuchets. And so I don't think Ragnarok, barring a First Crusade push, is really going to be able to take Dieterkiller out of the game. Especially since Dieter has so much to go through. Whereas Floki's base is already looking very, very thin.
Yeah, and Mathieus is on Paladin, right? So here it is. The ball is just too strong. The archers in the back here.
Yeah,
and then here comes the raid. Yep, there it is.
Yep, with Paladins they can dive all the TCs. Honestly, at this point, like, you have such better eco than your opponent. It's not like even if you have to take a billion castle shots, like, who cares? Like, you have way more units. You don't need to play slow. If you play fast, you'll overwhelm them. If I were Mathieus, just, go dive those CCs, destroy all of my Paladins. Who cares if I lose a bunch of them? I have more coming anyway. They have no military left. Ragnarok gonna get a bunch of damage in with the Great Halberd Tech, the +6 Pierce Armor. Cavalier actually doing a ton of damage, but unfortunately they're just outnumbered basically 2-1.
Yeah, that's...
It really... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a really... Yeah, exactly. It's 2v1. Just looking at... He got maybe a couple of Arbalasters there, but they're gonna go down, right? But on the south side, right, he's getting that... He's trying to push here with that Trebuchet. It's just a little bit too slow. I mean, Dieter's also repairing, right? Yeah. So that should last long.
If Dieter deletes some of his walls and he, like, just enough to move his bombard cannons forward and he suicides, or he probably don't even need to suicide, but if he just moves the bombard cannons forward to take out the trebuchet, he can probably get it too. And then that stops that push completely. Like, because without this trebuchet, what are you gonna do? Like, have the sergeants dive the turret? Dive the castle? You'll get slaughtered. Meanwhile, Floki's kind of running out of base.
He needs to get pikes. He needs some counter pikes out. Like, at least help. Because if you get the pikes, you can deal with the cavalry flowing through, right? And then maybe Ragnarok can flank and get those archers and siege units out of the way, right? So.
Yeah, and he has 3 blacksmiths queuing up pikes. Oh gosh, yeah, he has 3 blacksmiths queuing up pikes. But, oh my gosh, they're just, so they are pikes, they only get the +16, they get +32 against Paladin, but Mathieus still gonna pull back, still kind of like not wanting to take damage from them, and I feel like, Mathieus and Dieter, they're basically playing very, very clean, they're saying like, okay, he probably could run into those Paladins, take a bunch of damage from the pikes, but it doesn't matter, he'll probably still come out ahead. The thing, though, is that, they're just playing clean, not taking fights that they don't need to.
Right.
Even though they would probably still win those fights. They're still playing it slow. They know that with the death ball, they're basically guaranteed to win, so why take the stupid risk,
Exactly. And, on the backside of the influx, right, they're building the forward base, right? Here comes more archery ranges from them, another 2 councils from Mathieus, right? So,
especially with those cannon galleons, it's like raiding your shoreline, it's hard to do anything. Ragnarok is queuing 1.5 trillion Cavalier to the front. Luckily, the Arbalest, they do a good amount of damage, 10, but Cavalier, 8 Pierce Armor, just wow. Great Halberd, what an awesome tech. Like, just incredible. And it looks like they slowed the push down a little bit, but once again, like, between the water support and stuff like that, and these pikes are just not ready to fight. Do Mongols not get Halberdier?
I don't think they get Halberdier. I think that's the big problem with the Mongols. They don't get Halberdier. So it's kind of a feel bad. And in the south side, right, Dieter did lose that castle. He did lose it.
Wow. Yeah,
but I think the push from Ragnarok is going to stall.
Yeah,
simply because he needs to bail out Floki here.
Right.
So,
and this second castle by Dieter is much harder to siege because the trebuchets need to go kind of close to the wall to hit it, which will be in range of the bombard cannon. So that push is going to be, that second castle is going to be exponentially harder to take out. And oh my gosh, Dieter and Mathieus just looking at Floki's base and saying, look at me, this is our base now.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they have everything that they want. They have the siege units, the archery ranges, they have the castles down. And what I really like is their coordination on units, right? Like they say, okay, I'm going to build this and this, and you do this and this, right? So, so they can recon accordingly, right?
Right. It's a very, very difficult. This is a very difficult army comp. But I mean, we are seeing the strength of the. I mean, like, look at these. The Cavalier, they're able to dive in, take some Arbalists, come back out, and they're not completely obliterated immediately. Just, you know, once again, that great Hawker Sicilian tech. Oh, those Arbalists are in a bad position, but it looks like Ragnarok and Floki's gonna back off. Yeah, they get away. And understandably so, because like trying to get those Arbalists may have cost them their entire army. So I don't blame Floki and Ragnarok for that decision at all. Ragnarok is still pushing on the south. He is going through that wall, but Dieterkiller just building more layers of wall to cover the wall that's being destroyed. So it's going to take him a hot minute without something like siege rams to go through there. And as long as he keeps walling up, right, it's going to be hard. Ragnarok dropping a bunch of Braxes now, probably going to queue up as many Halberdiers as possible. Probably, guys, they're realizing that, you know, Mongol Pike's not gonna do the job here. But if you're Mongols here, what do you build? You know,
ooh, he got two bombard cannons. Oh my gosh! I mean, that's a good defense, right? I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but damn, he got two of them. All right, the Cavalier's gonna get these four, hopefully. Oh no. No. He's going to save.
Yeah, if they got that, that would slow down the push a lot. They will pick up the siege ram, the Captain for free, and not lose like anything in exchange. So great. And those Paladins aren't going to chase because there are the Halberdiers here. So great move by Ragnarok. Ragnarok really with some great like movement going on here.
Yes.
And just if you're Floki, like what do you really build here? Because you don't have the castles or the resources for Mangudai. You don't have good pikes. I mean, you don't get Halberdier.
Well, the Mangudais are coming out. He has one castle, so let's see if it's enough, you know?
And they're +2 Mangudai. They just get vaporized by Arbalest. And that's another thing, like, mass Arbalest is just so difficult to deal with.
Yeah,
he needs the range advantage.
Yeah, if I were him, I would. Yeah, he's switching to elite skirmishers now, right? So.
Yeah, that's probably the play is the skirms, but and that's the other thing is just like. Mangudai really like to have room to maneuver, but Dieter and Mathieus have so much layers of defense. It's kind of like there's no, you can't raid.
And the crazy thing is, as soon as they make a push, they build on top, right? You can see it coming. So it's so hard to re-push back on them because they have those buildings up.
Yeah, they have like 2 castles up, and you know they're taking the gold, the neutral. They're not. It's not even neutral gold. They're taking Floki's gold. Right. So, and they have trade behind, so there's no gold for Floki to build units with anymore. Ragnarok still probably has gold somewhere he can take. Yeah, but he has one last gold pile. When that runs out, you know, there's no more gold for him either, so he can't build his Sicilian Cavaliers, which, you know, and
the push. Oh, they're getting the bombard cannons. The Cavaliers.
Oh
no! Oh my goodness, that's gonna stall the push.
Yeah, that does stall the push. We have Captains, but the problem with Captains is that, you know, even Cavaliers can kill Captains. But I mean, if they don't get stopped, it will be like GG. We do have some Mangudai coming out, +3 Mangudai finally. So they have some good damage.
Oh my goodness, let's check it on the south side. It's pretty much the same stalemate, but it looks like the push from Mathieus and Dieter is slowing down a bit. They're re-equaling, they're getting the rams out. I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Because now the Mangudai are out, right? They're going to take care of these rams.
Right, and the thing is, Floki, I don't know if you noticed, but right now he doesn't even have he doesn't have a town center anywhere.
He's rebuilding one in the base of Ragnarok down here. I don't know if he gets a Billy there.
Yeah, but I mean, 19 villagers, it's only a matter of time before he runs out of resources to even build skirms, let alone...
Yeah.
And he has quite a bit of gold, so he can build Mangudai for a while. The problem is that, like, at a certain point, it's going to be Ragnarok versus 2, and that's going to be very difficult for Ragnarok.
Yeah.
He does have a pretty good, like, you know, store of resources, and units, and production building. 8,000 food Ragnarok has. That's an insane amount of food. I'm not sure how, but the question is, like, is it good, like, you know, what do you do with that? I think really
there's the GG call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and that's game.
That is game 1. Congratulations to Dieter and Mathieus for the victory. Well-played coordination, especially, I think what really sealed the deal here, if you want my analysis, is that water play, right?
Yeah.
Coordinated capture of the water, right? Which led to that Imperial, which led to, by the way they broke in that base and took down a castle was an elite cannon galleon. And that wouldn't have been possible if it were not for that water control, right?
Yeah.
So, great play. Great play.
Honestly, in my opinion, the water control made nearly 100% of the difference that game. Like, as soon as water was lost, we saw, like, the level of boom was just, like, another level, essentially. And we have the ID for the next game. It may have already started, actually.
Oh, wow. So, let me put the points here for them. And so what do you think? So before, if the idea is already out, let's really quickly go to pick a man. What do you do? How do you respond? Right?
Man, so I would avoid a water map because I think we clear. Well, they have 4 lakes, which will be a safe water. So I don't know. Of their 2 civs, I think I would personally go Arabia. I think I would go Arabia, and I would go, you know, like maybe Frank's Mayans, because they had the strat they wanted to work. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't get to do it.
Yeah. I agree. I would avoid a water map on all costs. Right. I would do the Arabia. Yeah, and I would pick some really hard hitting civs to get back game 2. All right.
You know.
So we're in here, right?
Okay, and first thing we gotta do, you know, judge the maps. So, Floki, unfortunately, not the easiest wood lines to defend. They're all in the front. Gold is in a great position though, especially this one to his right. Ragnarok. Oh man, Ragnarok has a very open base also, I think.
Yeah.
And much more open than Floki's, right? I mean, Floki's, yeah, like archers behind her wood line will be a nuisance, but it's very wallable. Ragnarok's very difficult to wall. Mathieus, his base looks kind of like normal-ish for Arabia. Good defensive golds. He's gonna really like that.
Yeah.
His berries are in the front, but I mean that's usually not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
If you have to ditch berries, it's not as bad as having to ditch like everything else. And Dieter's, he's got like this giant hole. His wood lines are all really far away, it feels like.
Yeah, Dieter's mirrors pretty much Floki with the wood line facing the enemy, right? So in that sense, they're mine. The really strange one is the non-mirror for Mathieus, right? He gets the 4 classic corner wood lines, right? Really weird. Very strange.
Yeah, but so we see Dieter, he's going back for that wood line. So that wood line's further from your TC, but it's also going to be, you know, take longer for your opponent to get there, especially if you scout him in advance. So it's actually pretty good. And he has a lot of wood back here he can retreat to. So he doesn't have... I feel like his space is kind of going to be weird. Because he has this TC just kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, right? And I feel like once he hits Castle Age, he's going to, like, if he's pushed on the back front, I think he would easily give up this TC to move backwards, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do. Absolutely. Yeah, and so Floki's also going to go for that top side wood line facing away instead of the forward 2. Yeah, smart move. And Ragnarok.
Another thing I really like about Floki is that the position of those berries, you're already going to have villagers there anyway, so it's not going to be costing you a lot of time to like take a berry villager, build a house or barracks or whatever to create like a natural wall between the 2 wood lines without actually, you know, losing a bunch of idle time sending someone out of their way. Whereas if you try to wall with Dieterkiller, it will be a lot more effort, and that is a very... Oh, that's a house, not a mill. I was like, that's such a weird mill placement. I'm like, oh, because it's not a mill, it's a house.
Yeah, it's house into lure, right? So
yeah,
pretty traditional move here. Yeah,
he's
so
actually...
Dieter's already on his elephant. He's going fast.
Yeah, so definitely going for a faster food. So probably he's going to go for 21 fast feudal, I think. But we'll see. His score is... I mean, last game happened the same thing. His score was pretty far behind. But, I mean, we saw how that game turned out. However, this time there's no water for them to take advantage of. So we'll see. I think both teams came into this game with a strategy, and right again, not as quote different of a strategy, but they still are in here with a plan of action and stuff like that. So great. One thing I can really respect about both these teams is that they seem to, from the draft, know what they're doing. Like they knew what civs they wanted. They knew what civs on what maps they wanted. I do think the only, So gonna get that second elephant in. So, and good job collecting the last bit of food from that elephant. That's always the right way to do it. Always finish off whatever you're missing from whatever food you have already killed, finish it off, and then go for the most recently killed thing.
Yep.
Just reduces the amount of decay time you have.
Yep. Looks like Floki's gonna early wall, and now I understand the 5-6 villies on wood here, right? Is to get that enough wood to do that really early wall, just in case there's any aggression. Dieter's already starting to wall up as well.
Right? Also, to make it easier for him to transition into farms as well as
right.
Like basic farms, dropping multiple stables if he gets to feudal quick. Dieter's about to hit 21 vills, so he might just drop off, and then right after Loom he might click up, or maybe one more villager and click up. And you can see he's going on wood. He's Burgundians. Probably he's going to go for... If he goes aggro, he will go scouts. He's walling, but it's going to be a lot of wall. Yeah, he just did a forced drop-off.
Yep.
And
Mathieus is the first one to click, right? Because he's committing lesser resources to, walling and things like that. So we'll see what goes on here.
And if you're Floki and Ragnarok, you should... Like, if you're really paying attention, you would be able to guess that they have clicked up. So Floki, Ragnarok just clicked up, like, just now. And Floki's still going to queue up a few more villagers, it looks like. He doesn't have the food to click up yet. That's kind of interesting how he's super short from food, actually. I'm surprised. Maybe it's because he put too many on wood, and he has a lot of villagers building, so that's why he's kind of short. He has to get those walls up quick, though, because since he's going to be the last with the feudal, he will be raided if he's not fast.
Yeah. I think the strategy here from Floki is fast castle, right? The feudal is not going to come through. So
just clicked up the feudal, so it looks like it's going to be somewhere in the middle, because it's not quite the villagers you build for fast castle, but...
Right. He needs a couple more for that fast castle, yes.
Yeah. And he's dropping a barrack, so, in case he needs defense...
Oh no, the Villy's gonna get spotted. Or is he paying attention? Oh no, the Villy lives. She lives, boys.
You talking about Ragnarok's?
Yep. Maybe he comes back for it. Let's see. Nope. Alright, the Villy's safe. She lives. She lives to live another day.
Okay. Dieterkiller also going kind of like full wall, so this is a lot of defense going on from him. Mathieus, being the first feudal, does he drop anything out? He drops an archery range, so probably going to queue up some archers, so we can most likely get some archers. And Dieterkiller, he's in feudal, but it seemed... Oh yeah, he did drop a stable, so he may be building a few scouts. Yet he's queuing up scouts, so we will see scouts from him. We will see double archery range from Mathieus, so they are going aggressive and feudal. Floki just clicked up. I'm not sure if he's going to go anything aggressive. Ragnarok looks like he's going to go ahead and drop an archery range, so we probably will see archers from him.
Yeah, yeah, it's a double archery range here. So yeah, we're gonna see the cheaper archers come out, and he's gonna be an archer matchup on the bottom side, interestingly enough, and a cavalry matchup on the top side, right?
Right.
So yeah, I
And
think
I
Floki
think
needs to hurry up, get that stables down, and finish walling.
Yeah. Well, I think one saving grace for Floki here, and is that Dieterkiller is also full walling, right? And you know that the amount of villager idle time and the amount of wood he's spending is slowing him down from putting aggression in.
Yeah.
Because that villager was building another stable instead, or you know, queuing up more scout, or
Right.
like you know, getting more food, right? Maybe that aggression will be coming out faster. And I know like there is a score lead, but remember, resources on buildings contribute 20% to score lead. So all that walling is contributing to a score, but it's not really creating more advantage yet. You know, until Floki tries to raid him, he's not getting any advantage. But Floki's not trying to raid. Floki, he's built spears. Spears are just a purely defensive unit, so he's not even trying to fight. He's happy just queuing up, and he went up with more villagers, so he probably might beat everyone to castle.
Yeah. Yeah. He built an archer range, which is weird. I mean, oh, it's skirmishers. Makes sense, right? He's anticipating an archer rush. He's getting those counter units down. Yeah, good call. If you didn't scout out your enemy, here are the scouts coming.
Yeah, and this is really the sign of a good versus a bad player, right? Like when you think of Frank players, you think, oh, they're gonna go scouts, and then they very typically get locked into doing that one thing because it's what Franks are good at, right? But he's like, okay, skirms, right? And Franks aren't known for their skirms, but it's a good call. Ragnarok looks like he might be going on the offensive though with archers, but he's gonna have to
deal with two players.
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
Dieter sent his scouts south, right? So instead of going on Floki, he's gonna go and see if he finds Ragnarok here.
Yeah, Floki queuing up some stables. The question is, so I think here with Floki, it's very important to start deciding what are you gonna do, because you already started queuing up defensive units, so it feels really weird to start going in scouts, especially since your last feudal, you're not gonna have the resources, right? It might be better to just kind of get to castle first, right? Especially Frank Knights, you know, it's going to be a big deal. And if you're Ragnarok, you have this military, but unfortunately, it's probably better to stay kind of on the back foot. Yeah, on the back foot and defensive as much as you can with that military. Just you're trying to scare the opponent from fighting more than you're trying to start fights of your own. But Floki does decide to start queuing up scouts, so now he's going to probably be the slowest to castle age, actually. You know?
Should I say? Yeah, I think if you went with the knights, earlier knights, he would have been fine.
Right. Okay, Ragnarok will take out the scout for free. Oh, how? Ooh, oh, he loses a spear. That's very bad. With no spear there, he will be run down by the scouts. He's
got a micro. He's gonna micro the scout fight.
Yeah, but I think he will.
Oh, he got one scout.
Yep.
He needs to head to this hill.
That's true. Oh, if he gets to this hill, then maybe Mathieus backs off, because you don't want to fight that uphill, you know. Yeah, that's great. Making it to the hill was huge because it gives him a chance to at least scare his opponents away. He will get pulled off these berry bushes, but I mean, there's not that much food on them anymore, so it's not the end of the world. And Floki is coming with both skirms and some scouts, so yeah, and Dieter, maybe a misplay, but he loses 2 more scouts, so he doesn't have military anymore.
Yep, the skirmishers are coming from Floki to get rid of those archers. There's a defensive tower to protect the goal line. Right, so that scout is not going to do much, right?
And suddenly Floki's kind of like pulling ahead in resources and stuff like that. Skirms definitely need to be microed correctly onto those archers quickly. Even just mixing them, because like the skirms with the bonus damage, right? Like just mixing them in with Ragnarok's archers, right? Not accounting for different micro. Yeah, you are outnumbered on archers here, but you actually stand a good chance of winning this fight. And on top of that, Mathieus is completely committed here. So if he loses the fight, a little early, Ragnarok with those archers, he's going to lose all of them.
I don't think he's microing that. Well, I mean, the nice thing about Mayans here is the cheaper archer. So you lose it 2 or 3. It's not the end of the world. They really need to micro this fight.
Yeah, so this is a fight I really think that Ragnarok and Floki would have easily won, but unfortunately they kind of sent their units at different times. First he sent like 5 archers alone. They all got slaughtered. Then he sent the 2 scouts went too far ahead, so they were alone. They got slaughtered.
Yeah.
And then finally the rest of the army came by, but the problem is they're just too far behind. So like it was a great play, except for the fact that you staggered the units you were sending, and now that was a really costly like amount of units to lose. Right?
Yep.
It sucks because I really think they could have won that fight.
Yep, and there it is. Dieter was the first one to castle anyway.
Yeah.
So here we can here it is, guys. Burgundians, the Cavaliers are gonna come.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Cavaliers right away.
Oh man, the Cavalier raids. That's gonna be woo-wee.
Yeah, and Floki, I think Floki might be a little frazzled. You know, he's got a bunch of villagers idle near one tower. I'm not sure where his focus is on right now. Maybe those archers. He managed to take out 2 archers. That's good, but he probably will get forced off this wood line. He could just move those villagers back to the other side, easy peasy. You know, and no big deal. I think this is a little bit of a rough spot. Mathieus, kind of interesting spot. Very circular base. Oh, it's because he's queuing up the castle, that's why. And he's focusing mostly on his archers right now. Right.
Yeah, it's a nice defensive base too, right? It's easy to, if you're being raided or attacked your walls, a villager can quickly get there. So it's a very, very defensive base. Right?
True.
So,
yeah, I agree. The only negative is if you get beaten to Castle Age, right? I mean, you don't have secure. So he saves a bunch of money with those walls compared to something like Dieterkiller did. But I mean, look how far away like golds and
stones
are all. Yeah, golds and stones are all outside his base. I don't know, but yeah, no, I think it's honestly though, because of how open his map is, that circular wall probably was the only walls he could have built without spending just way too many resources. But I mean, and it doesn't really matter. It's working off for him. He will get chased off by Ragnarok's archers here. Maybe even lose those archers if he turns around and tries to fight. But
he's gonna save them because he's going thumb ring now. There's a crossbowman. Yep. So they're much stronger here. But and here come the cavalry. Here comes the cavalry.
Yeah,
here they come.
The Cavaliers +1/+2. So they also have great bonuses on them right now. They're basically almost fully upgraded for the age that they're in. So just crazy amount of strength. Crossbow. These 5 crossbows and these 4 Cavaliers can probably kill all those archers. Only problem is that you are fighting in your opponent's base. There are towers they can hide in, and they have gotten spotted by now. So Ragnarok probably gonna try to pick a fight with them, but retreating, lure them into the base. Where they don't actually want to fight. It's he can come in here, but now you have to fight under my TC, and you don't want to waste resources on Cavaliers like that.
Yeah. And they just now hit castle in 25 minutes, so the castle's kind of a little slow. It's understandable in Ragnarok's part. He was set behind with those raids, right?
Yeah, so, and he did go fast feudal, so he's been building. I mean, look how many archers he's queued up, and I think it would have really paid off. The quick walling from Ragnarok, beautiful. Gonna deny the Cavalier entry. He is gonna lose some villagers on the wood line though, but great quick walls to save his gold, which is what really matters here. And if he hits castle, he will have quite a few crossbows. Problem is that man, there's a lot of Cavalier coming in.
Yeah, he needs to keep. He's clicking, right? He needs to keep queuing a little bit if he can.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs to pull them back. He needs to pull them back. Please pull them back. Oh no.
The big problem here is Ragnarok has 4 things he needs to pay attention to. There's Cavaliers in the north, Cavaliers in the south, Archers on his left. He has to also pay attention to his eco. 4 things, And, that's just brutal. The problem here with Ragnarok is that because he's basically on the back foot, being 2v1 by Dieterkiller and Mathieus, is that he always has to be. He's losing a lot of military.
Yes.
He's built a lot of military, but that's always setting him behind how much money he's spending, how many resources he's spending on military.
Yeah.
Floki. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah. Let's see what he's doing in the archer range. More archers. No crossbow upgrade. Understandable. He's off gold. He has 2-3 gold. He's off his farms. They're getting raided. Yeah, there it is. GG called immediately by Ragnarok. Wow.
Right. I mean, Floki just hit Castle Age. There wasn't much he was going to do here. No knights queued up, and there's already Cavalier in his base. Just, wow. This was such clean play by Dieterkiller and Mathieus, and hopefully, in the finals someone's able to give them a little bit of a run for their money. But
Yes.
it's not out over for Floki and Ragnarok as far as the tournament's concerned. They still can get, third place, still win some money. Problem is just, I think that after game one, I think they got kind of frazzled.
Yeah.
It sucks because, like, that fight in the south or whatever, where they outnumbered Mathieus, if the fight had just been a little better coordinated, they could have won that fight, and it could have been a different game.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
Absolutely. Yep. And there's the GG called. Well played. Congratulations to Mathieus and Dieterkiller. You guys are going on to the finals. We'll see you guys tomorrow. What excellent play. Really showing the viewers how you control water on Baltic and then how you play Burgundians on Arabia. Wow. 3 TC, really quick, cavalry or rush. Just stellar gameplay by them. Floki and Ragnarok played both games. A very good fight, right? They hung in there. They really, yeah. It's just little things. If little things had gone differently, the games would have been totally different, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they got on water earlier on Baltic, right, with the ships, right, they wouldn't
Yeah.
have lost control. That would have led them to be on time for the feudal and things like that. I mean, for Imperial, right, so that they can fight on more even grounding. And then, as you said, right, that Arabia, that little fight, had they coordinate that fight a little bit better, right, they wouldn't Ragnarok wouldn't have been set so far behind, right? So yeah, it's those little details. So it was actually a great matchup. It came down to those little things.
Yeah, I thought that basically what happened was game one, they just kind of got beaten in. So in Smash Bros, you say beaten in Champ Select, but no, that's League. You get beaten in Champ Select. Um,
Yes.
I think that I feel like game one they really got beaten in Civ Select.
Yes.
And just like not going double dock water, I think. But
Yes.
even with double dock water, you were playing as two water civs on water,
You're
right?
right. Yeah.
It would have been hard to win. Um,
Yes.
and then game two, honestly, I thought game one, if I were playing that, I think would be a very exhausting game. I think game two, they weren't out strategized, but I think that they weren't bringing 100% of their A game. I think
Yeah.
they could have played. I've seen Floki and Ragnarok play, and we've seen Ragnarok play on the back foot, being Persian douched without a TC in Dark Age, and being tower rushed
Yeah.
and winning.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like this game was just, I think, they got a little frazzled from last game. I feel like is the feeling I got just watching them play, and just like the just barely bad timing on that first fight in Feudal Age
Mm-hmm.
really cost them the game. And it's just small fights like that when you're that good, right? When you're these two teams, those small things determine the game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So we're gonna. Do we have the next matchup? The next semis up or?
So the next game isn't till like
Yeah.
6
It's
p.m.
all right. 6 o'clock. All right. So. Yeah. Yeah. So we got a couple of hours of downtime. So what we're gonna do here is, I don't know if, let's see if we can get an interview going on, or we'll just close the stream here, and we will be back at 6 for the next matchup.
I can
Let's see. All right. I'll be right back. 1 second. All right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Can you
hello.
hear me?
Yes, here it is.
Hey, that's him.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Hey, pull up the Oh shoot, I gotta mute the stream. Pull up the pick band stuff so that way, like, we can see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because it makes more sense since
All
we
right,
don't have like face cams and stuff.
right. Let's see. Okay, good. All right, so yeah, how you guys feeling with that win?
Great, great. We thought we had a tough matchup, but it went out very good for us actually.
Yeah,
But pumped for the finals.
yeah, you guys are going
Yeah.
to the finals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
so walk us through your process here, right, on the pick
yeah,
bands.
yeah, on the draft. That's actually what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, we had the neutral map was Baltic. So we banned Italians, and because we had the first pick, we picked Portuguese. So there was no good water shift left because they also banned Vikings. So we had a huge advantage with that map.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
yeah,
wanted to
it was
mix it
very
up a
good
little
though. We
bit.
won water. They didn't commit it on water enough, so we had really easy fish. That's why we were castaways very quick. That's how we committed fully to the game. Boomed a bit, then pushed at one side, defended at the other one. Yeah, it worked pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very clean play. Like I think when I was in like the middle of the game or something like that, I felt like I made some comments like it feels like they got everything they wanted here. They got two civs that are good at fighting on lakes. They walled up. They have two civs that are good in post imperial. So they have the late game. They have the feudal age. The only time where they might be weak is maybe Castle against Masked Mangudai, but at the same time though, like you guys had such nice walls up and the eco advantage, it felt like it seemed like it didn't. There wasn't really much. I think Floki Ragnarok, it didn't seem like there was much they could really do that game, right? After they lost to water.
Yeah, because it was water, we had cannon galleys also on water. That was really good for
Mm-hmm.
killing the buildings,
All
especially
right.
the castles.
And so there's one thing that me and SPQR are really curious about in the draft phase. So because you guys did this last week also. Why the golf ban?
Yeah.
Uh,
We don't really like to play against the guy.
and I told them we always lose the gods.
Always lose to golf.
So
But
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I,
yeah. Huh.
so I think it's kind of funny because so you guys are kind of like the favorites to win. And Elo wise, you're the highest rank, right? So usually when I think of that, I usually think higher Elo players usually going to go aggressive because lower Elo players can't take that, rather than waiting for post imp, where all that matters is who can click more units faster, which is not really like as micro intensive. So I mean, it's funny because I would imagine you guys would crush most golf players, but instead you're telling me that like you guys like, oh, we always lose to golfs, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. They always manage to get up to imp, and then they spam units like how do they call the castle units?
Yeah, the Huskgirl. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Salop.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Huskers are really hard to deal with in maths. Yeah. Were there any tense moments in the series for you guys at all? Like any point in the game you felt like a little tense playing against
Yeah,
Floki?
because
I
in the beginning of Baltic, he
Hmm?
killed my scout while I was scouting where I should wall, and he killed him and
Ah.
that vision. That was the moment that I thought,
well, I think they played
but
very good in Baltic, right?
they didn't have great water sips. We thought they might go feudal pressure, but they didn't do that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, what about that trade in the feudal age, right? Like I felt like had they like just made a little adjustments with gathering their units, they could have won that trade in the feudal
I
on Arabia. How you guys how'd you guys feel then?
Yeah, one thing was very weird. The French guy, even skirms. I
yeah. So,
expected.
so what we thought he was going to do was just build, a few defensive units like spears, skirms, and then beat you guys to Castle Age. But he went spears, skirms,
Scouts.
and then he started building scouts after you guys both already kind of had military on to Ragnarok, and after he had already had a slower feudal time. So I think that it is kind of we weren't sure I thought he was just building that for defense, and Ragnarok was just going to try to defend 1v2 because that's kind of if you. I don't know if you guys watched their previous match, but how they played against like Ares was that they basically did that. Like Floki would get 1v2'd and he'd defend and survive. No, my bad. Ragnarok would get 1v2'd and he'd just survive, and Floki would kind of like boom behind and like win. But it seems like Floki, I think that's what he wanted to do at first. Like I think he wanted to fast castle, but then he decided like halfway through, nah, I should go to feudal and I should help my teammate out. And I think in the end result is that he ended up having a slower feudal time, less military, and a slower castle time, unfortunately.
That's the problem. If you go skirms and scouts, you have to build an archery range, which is very expensive, and you have to get armor on your skirms, and you have to produce skirms. It just delays your castle time so much.
Yeah, that's what I felt because you guys got to castle so much faster than both of them, and at least in Ragnarok's case, it kind of made sense because he was fighting, both of you. Which, by the way, you guys are magnificent at just playing very, very clean 2v1, microing your armies together, right? Taking it like you guys do that so clean. It's so scary. Oh yeah, we have played against you. I was like, I hope we never have to play against you. And I was like, we did. We played against you
we
once.
We did in the scrim, yeah.
Yeah, that was so difficult. I remember that.
Yeah, but
Man.
you actually really played good on Socotra.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
almost won against me.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of that Socotra game. I felt I was playing like probably like some of the best ever. And then I think next game we got destroyed, but
Yeah.
Yeah, because the reason you lost to Socotra, because you had a military advantage, and I was late up the castle, and you were on the hull. But you kept there, I was making a lot of skirms, and when I got the elite skirmisher and the upgrades, I went on the hull and fight you. You should have retrieved, and then you maybe had won. Because you were winning at that time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You stopped making those because I rewatched it.
Fair.
Yeah, you have way too much IWC time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's fair. Man, he must have like watched the VODs after.
Yeah.
I've actually been meaning to review that VOD. I just haven't because it's been a really busy week at work for me. But so I have one more question for trying to keep the topic less about me and more about the tournament. Although I do love talking about myself, don't get me wrong. So the next set is Hopve and Lord Matute versus Gabala and Sloffy. Do you have one of them that you want to face in the finals? And if so, what's your confidence level, do you think, against either of those teams?
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth. That's the same question I was going to ask.
Yeah, great question. Well, I think they're actually very the same. The one team has a great team spirit. They're actually the same level, and I think they really play well as a team. Then I'm talking about Gallup and Sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Lord Matute and Yatve. I think Lord Matute is very good. I think he's the best player in the tournament. But his rate is not that great, and the tactics is a little bit weak, and the team play is a little bit weak too, because they actually almost lost in the first round.
That's true.
It was a tough. It was a really tough series. It was like it went to all three games.
Yeah.
If you rewatch it, you see the other guys actually threw it. They had the position, they had the strategy. They just missed the execution to be winning that.
Yeah, it's like if Kobukili, because I remember like there was like Kobukili versus them. It's just like they had like great like team coordination. It's just that like Kobukili like had a very bad habit of not queuing any more villagers beyond like the 20-minute mark. Not even 20, like 15-minute mark.
Yeah, the build order was actually. I don't think they even had a build order.
they were making. I mean, after the game 2, it's clear that like game 2 was like, man, dude, these guys are just making it up as they go along. That game 2.
They had a really great strategy. It was like they almost got them, but they had less fills, less this, less that. But they had just a great strategy, a great team play. But
Okay.
we want to face Lord Matute and Yappe in the final.
Okay.
But I think the other guy's gonna win it.
Okay, man, I'm gonna be okay. I'm hearing what you're saying, but I swear, if Gavala and Sloppy win, I'm gonna be a little bit salty because I'm gonna be like, gosh damn, dude, why did we have to face them round 1? Honestly, though, but yeah.
What about this? You chose it yourself.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we tried to seed by Elo so that we weren't biased because we didn't want to give ourselves a big advantage in the
Right,
bracket
yeah.
because that would be messed up if we did. It'd be like cheating almost. But anyway, yeah. So okay, so you guys want to fight Hopfit and Lord Matute, and you think there's solid chance you guys would win against them?
I think we have a chance. Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, you guys have been kicking ass all tournament so far, so I can't wait to see what you guys bring in the next set. Oh, do you have? So you don't have to tell us, obviously, but do you have any more strategies that you haven't shown us yet that you've been saving for the finals?
Well, I have a tournament. I think I have like 10, 15 strats with 20 civs on every map, so very good for the different strategies. Because
Okay.
He's
we
prepared.
had a totally different strategy than we did last week, so something else for the finals planned, and we hope it's gonna work.
Okay. So we can expect to see some new stuff next game then.
Maybe.
Okay.
But
Art.
we have a lot more in store. Yeah.
Okay. I hope we get to see. Let me see. Let me just try to think of like some meme strategy. I hope we get to see Malay elephant push on Hideout. That's what I hope to see.
We talked about it.
We talked.
Spanish villager supremacy rush. No military, just villagers.
Flemish Revolution while you're at it.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So, Quan, do you have any more questions or?
No, I'm good. Just once again, congratulations to the both of you, Mathieus and Dieterkiller, for winning the match. Well done, and we'll see you guys in the finals tomorrow.
Yeah. Congrats, guys. Really kicked ass.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And by the way, thanks for organizing this tournament. You're doing really great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.